Alright, so I got this soldered up a little more. So I have the two pins that are connected to the keys. I have the DIT and the dot key connected. So I got on pin 0 and 1. And I also wired, so I only have to do a single ground. I wired this, the brown wire here to the ground, so that will also serve as the ground for my switches as well, which is essentially what these are, button switches. It's just going to close it, so it'll basically pull those pins high. And so in my setup, I have pin mode, pin SW1 or SW0 input, digital write. I set it high, so that's the internal pull-up enabled. I'm not so I copied this from another sketch, so I'm not honestly totally sure what that does or if this will work. So I'm gonna give it a try. But essentially, what I should end up with is, I go over here. So I'm also going to have to update this code here. Oh, all right, there we go. You can see the code. So yeah, basically I have the my pin SW0 is set as the input here in setup, and then I have my digital write, which sets the pin SW high, so it sets the internal pull up, which again I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I know a lot of times people will actually put a resistor connecting to it, but apparently there's an internal pull up, which that must be inside the ATTiny85, because I don't see any resistors going, like actual external ones. I mean, there's some over here, it looks like. But it's possible they could be inside there. So, anyway, we'll give that a try. Alright, so have that set up. So I need to put my debug print statements over here. So right now I'm saying if use serial, which, so eventually I might change this to be like depending on the board, but right now I've just got these two defined variables here. I know that there is some functionality to be able to determine if something's available or not, so there might be an easier way, but I'm just going to use this. So I will say print ln SW0 depressed. Alright. So that is going to say that I pressed SW0. Still to be determined which key that is. I think what I would probably do eventually is make it so you can switch the DIT and the dot, because I know some people like it on one way or the other, and then that way you don't have to worry about how it's wired up. You just flip it if you want to. Which, again, if I was to like eventually make this like fully designed, I would probably, like, just from a user experience standpoint, make it so you can like change these settings ideally without having to connect a computer. So I don't know, I was thinking like use this switch as like something, or I don't know, maybe make some like send it a certain Morse code sequence, and then it will like listen to you or something. Do a menu in Morse code. That'd be fun. All right. So this is saying, so I'm detecting SW0 or SW1 depressed. If digital read SW0 equals low, then it's basically, it's detected that I'm pressing that key. So I'm going to say SW0 depressed. Alright, and I'm going to do the same thing for SW1, which is the other one. Alright, so SW1 depressed. Alright, so I'm going to save that, do upload, and we'll send this along its way. These other wires here are connected to the battery, which I don't have currently connected, even though it's there. Alright, so I'm going to move this over here to my notepad, so I should see the data, the logging data there, and then we'll see what happens. Cool. Huh. Alright. SW1 depressed. SW0 depressed. Oh. I'm slightly confused as to why this is outputting that. So, let's see here. SW1 must be that one. Must be that one. And SW0, so that seems to be SW0 there. And this is possibly why there's a pull-up. Alright. I'm going to disconnect this. Not used to not having my cursor, so Control Z this. Alright, so I'm actually going to comment out this stuff and see. I'm not sure. Maybe I need to make it this low and then it goes high. So, we'll see. Alright. Alright. So it looks like they're both being depressed now, so I'm kind of wondering if they need to actually be high. So maybe I need to. I'm actually going to try this. So low. And then I'm going to say high, meaning they've actually clicked. I might have to do some more Googling to figure out exactly how to do this. So. I had a URL here that I was trying to store, so that's why I Control Z'd that. So. Alright, there we go. Alright, now they're no longer depressed, but it's not doing anything now. So. Oh, weird. I got one there. Basically what I was reading is it was saying, like, if you don't have pull-up resistors, then you're going to end up with it randomly, like, clicking on one. So it would be cool if I could do it without having a resistor. So basically the project that I got this from was this antenna tuner, which was another project I was working on. So this says, and they basically, in this project, they did not use any pull-up resistors. It's basically just shorting it. So internal pull-up enabled. So this is kind of what I was going off of. So resolution, let's say this first one. So they're going to say resolution input high. So internal pull-up enabled. So if I take my code and do the same, and honestly, so this project was written for an Arduino Uno, so it's possible that an Arduino Uno potentially has actual resistors on it, on these pins. I've got one over here that I'm just looking at to see if I can see anything. It looks like there are resistors, although I don't know if the specific pins that they're using actually have them. But that's possibly why that would use that. So if I look for others, let's see, find. Yeah, so this is the same thing. This is so if digital read resolution equals low, which is what I had in here initially. Alright, I'm going to run this again and see what happens here. Looks like, so I've got the print ln. I know I was getting before, like, nothing at the, getting a whole bunch of data there. Alright, we'll see what this does. Okay. Alright, so I got my cursor in there. Just gonna run that. So it appears that SW1 is always depressed. I'm going to say it's SW0. So SW1, which is this one here, it's actually the black one. Just connect the blue, which, so I'm curious here if I'm going to unplug this. Oh, okay. This is what tells me there's something off here because I just unplugged all this and I'm getting nothing. So it's possible I actually do need to run a switch or a resistor. Because, let's see, blue. Yeah. Oh, you know what the other thing too is? I know there's a light. Actually, I may switch pins on this. Alright, I'm going to do this. So I know that pin 1 on this ATTiny, this Digispark board, actually is used for the LED, so it's possible that's interfering with it. So I'm going to actually switch this. I'll use pin 0 and 3. I'm actually going to switch this to pin 3. Alright, so run that. Alright, so it says plug-in device. Got my cursor in my text editor. Cool. Alright, so SW0 depressed. Alright, nice. not getting the other switch, which is supposed to be on P3. Possible. Oh, all right. Okay, so not getting the other pin there. Control Z. This. All right, so I feel like I'm getting there. Just gotta figure out what this pin is doing. So I'm gonna look into this a little more, and then once I get this resolved, I will I'll post back with a part 4 of this and updates, and then we can continue on to the other pieces.